Joining us now to review some of the headlines of today's newspapers from around the world is Arise News analyst Emmanuel Efene. Great Malabite.
Yes, good morning, Ruben. Good morning, Rufai.
Bless you, sir.
Yes, let's start the review with this day, Nigeria's newspaper of record. The lead story, again, Tinubu meets APC National Working Committee, National Assembly members over 10th Legislature's leadership. Ex-lawmakers warn against interference in selection of principal officers. Caution against zoning positions alongside executive offices. President-elect to inaugurate flyover court building in Rivers State. Yes, of course, the tussle for the leadership of the 10th National Assembly is on. Meetings have been held. Of course, permutations have been made, and alliances are also being made ahead of the inauguration of the 10th National Assembly. Now, what factors will determine who heads the Senate President, or the speakership of the House of Representatives? There are a number of other factors. Of course, many are saying, members of the House are saying that, well, at the end of the day, they will do the voting and they will decide. But the parties, the political parties, are also making different moves. The minority parties, if they can put their act together, of course, they have more votes put together than the ruling party. Now, the ruling party is also not sitting back, trying to get as many opposition parties, representative-elect, senators-elect, to think alongside the ruling party. Now, the Nation newspaper reporting that story, Tinubu APC target consensus Senate President. Speaker, ruling party favors Christian to lead Red Chamber. Yes, of course, talking about balancing, since we have a Muslim presidency, president and vice president. The right thing to do, which the Nation newspaper is reporting, that the ruling party is favors a Christian to lead the Senate. But we'll see how that pans out, because if the Northwest is also staking a claim to that position because of their contribution to the emergence of Tinubu as president-elect, then perhaps a Christian from the Northwest will be a welcome development. Now, if we look at other stories quickly, yes, the Daily Trust newspaper also reporting this story, National Dynamics, vote delivery to determine National Assembly leadership. Tinubu Shetima APC leaders hold maiden meeting, push for Northwest, Southeast Senate presidency intensifies. Ruling party working on tight rope. So it's going to be a tough one. Now, if we look at the Punch newspaper, yes, the Punch newspaper, yes, Sudan conflict. Students lament slow evacuation, federal government to pay $1.2 million. Only 15 out of 40 buses ready on Wednesday conveyed 750 students. According to some students, minister says cost covers 19-hour journey, security from Sudan to Cairo. Well, the evacuation of Nigerians who are stranded in the war-torn Sudan. The movement has started, and we just hope that this can be completed before the window of ceasefire. But if that is not done within that window, of course, the Minister of Foreign Affairs is saying that they are talking to all sides, the authorities, to provide safety, a safe corridor, as it were, for Nigerians to be moved to Egypt, from where they can be moved to Nigeria. So which airline is doing that? Yes, Alex Oyema said he's doing it for free. But I will recommend that the government should pay him. He did South Africa for free. He did Ukraine for free. Can't government India for free? Can't the government South now Africa commission him to do it and pay him? There will be nothing bad in that, but because whether he has even been given the go-ahead to be the one to lift these Nigerians from Egypt or which other country they are being taken to is left to be seen. But we don't want to hear that the government went and paid one other airline to lift these Nigerians when Air Peace offered. In fact, I would have, if I were the president, I would ask Air Peace, lift them, will pay you. You are a businessman. We don't want to, because businesses thrive when friends and relatives pay
for goods and services.
So we should not overstretch the generosity of Air Peace. But at the end of the day, we want these Nigerians to come home safely, no matter how it is done. Now, the Vanguard newspaper, lead story presidential poll, you are biased. Peter Obi replies INEC insists on review of results uploaded from Beavers. Yes, of course, INEC already at the tribunal to also defend the poll it conducted. Yes, it has been argued that perhaps the burden of proof that the election was conducted freely in future, perhaps going by, if we can amend the extant laws, should be put on INEC to prove that the election was conducted was free and fair. But right now, the onus to prove that the election was not free and fair lies with the petitioner, and INEC coming in to defend that result of the election it conducted. But that is how it is now. INEC is one of those being mentioned in the petition, so they are also there to defend their position. Above the masthead, poll, I have no age, drug record controversy. Atiku replied, Tinubu insists APC candidate didn't meet constitutional threshold and is constitutionally disabled from contesting for office of President of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. Yes, the case, the petitions are there. The main substance of the cases at the tribunal. But of course, you cannot also escape these barbs from the politicians for who they are. Yes, Bola Ahmed Tinubu referred to Atiku as serial loser. I don't know when that becomes an abuse, because we recall how many times President Muhammadu Buhari lost and even had to cry at one point. And of course, we'll continue to hear this kind of Atiku responding to Tinubu's serial loser accusation there. Now, if we just look at one foreign newspapers quickly. Now, the Wall Street Journal, UK blocks Microsoft deal for Aviation imperiling bid. Of course, the UK authorities have stopped that takeover bid by Microsoft. Of course, that it will be against competition. Now, Ruben and Rufai, if there's still some time.
Well, unfortunately, we don't have time. But just to talk about the airlines.
Yes.
We were talking about airplanes being paid. You know, one major story that I've seen is the Minister of Aviation, Adi Sirika, being quoted as saying that Nigeria Air will start flying by on or before May 29. And that what they're just waiting for is the approval from the International Civil Airlines Organization, ICAO. However, there is a matter in court filed by the airline operators of Nigeria and 5 others who are stakeholders, insisting that, look, taking Ethiopia Airlines as preferred bidder is unacceptable to them, and that the process of arriving at that preferred bidder, you know, is tainted, and they're in court. So is the Nigerian government going to ignore that court matter and go ahead? And what the airline operators are asking for is for their government to support them in terms of frequency, in terms of bilateral air services agreements, and not be supporting other
Ethiopia.
Yeah, other countries or other airlines. Thank you very much, Emmanuel Femi.